Can you explain to me, just describe one of your most memorable DMT trips and tell us the knowledge
Mm,
you took from that that you think may still be with you today?
wow. Um, Let me explain an ayahuasca experience, maybe, if that's all right.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
This was the first time I was down in Peru, 2008. We were shooting part of the Spirit Molecule, and there was a great conference that was going on. We had Martina Hoffman, Dennis McKenna, Jeremy Narby, just a wonderful collection of individuals. And I'd never tried ayahuasca prior to that, and this was my fifth experience during that week, and we were all outside. There were 70 people in this group.
Wow.
It was huge. It was massive. Underneath the full moon, and it was led by four female shamans. So the feminine energy was everywhere. And within 15 minutes of drinking my cup, I went and sat back down, and I was sitting Indian style, and sudden I kind of look up, and so it was six women, five Shipibo women that were not there but were there, and my aunt, who is my spiritual savior. They all sat around me, two on either side, and one at my feet and one at my head. And then I just had this huge rush of energy, like wind just kind of pushing through me. And once they settled down, I knew they were there for the rest of the evening for me for it felt like protection or just comfort. And once that kind of wave of energy came through, I just laid back and went through probably a 2 hour DMT experience with all the morphing shapes and stuff. And it was playful and it was fun, but there wasn't a whole lot going on beyond that. So it's just kind of this in between state, and it was kind of like, all right, this is all right. But then this spaceship, this UFO is all I can describe it, about the size of a frisbee,
Wow.
came and sat over my chest. And right out of the front window, there were two little entities that were looking out at me. And I thought, okay, this is a little weird, but eyes wide open having this experience. And as soon as I kind of recognize it again, there's something about perceiving something and then it shifting off, and it did. As soon as I recognized the two little entities in there and this flying saucer, it sped off. And I don't know what the time difference was in and out of that, but it came back a little bit later. And I'm
Mm.
guessing maybe a 10-minute experience, but everything is so, the time is not really relevant in these states. But when it came back, it started dropping little green men out of the bottom of the ship with huge white boots. This was the weird part to me, is that they had these huge white boots and they were moving so effortlessly, but they were dropping down like ants, thousands, and then it seemed like millions, and they were going through my nose and scrubbing my brain. And I'm viscerally feeling this happen as they're like scrubbing and watching them drop out at the same time, being completely flabbergasted. I'd never had an experience where I'm seeing aliens, entities, and also feeling it physically while I'm looking at it with eyes wide open. It felt wonderful. It felt absolutely wonderful. It just felt like there was a lot of callous material that was on my brain that had been sitting there and building up over time that was just getting removed. And once that kind of happened and started to unfold, it sped away, and that was kind of that part. The next aspect of it were these turtle people, and the only way I can
Mm.
describe them is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They had these huge staffs. They walked kind of, with their feet out, but they were popping in and out of my chest and through my belly, and it was just this huge rotation. It was like they were cleaning the insides of my body there. So it was this entire process of cleaning, and what seemed like it would be a little alarming felt really nice. It was very ecstatic, and it felt like it just moved a lot of and reorganized things in a lot of ways. And once that piece happened, this was kind of coming towards the tail end now. I got shown a film while I'm sitting there watching this thing that I knew was mine, but I don't know what it is yet, but I knew it was mine just through the characters, the shot layout, color palette, and I knew this was a film that I was going to make in the future. I still don't know what that is, but I still have faith that it's going somewhere and it'll turn itself up. Um, but what I got out of that, I think I'm still working with, but there's still those glimmers of whether this is real or whether this is Memorex. That's the big discussion. Is this
Hmm.
really opening up to other realms that you're experiencing? Or is it just kind of some weird feedback loop of your brain where you're having these experiences and trying to wrap some sort of a narrative around it? To me, it doesn't matter. If you have an experience, it's real. Whether or not somebody else can experience that or see that at the time, it's real. And knowing that there are these larger energies that are pulsing in and out of us at all times, and having an influence on our life, having an influence on our emotions, how we're interacting with the world, I can be aware of those a little bit more. I'm not always aware of them. I don't claim to be always aware of them, but sometimes it's just those moments, and it can come back through just a memory of what that experience was, or something might trigger that memory, and that sets me back into that space, and it says, okay, take and evaluate what's going on in your life, and try to look at maybe some of the negative patterns or what could be unfolding that won't be beneficial to you. And so it just gets me to come back and again just kind of take stock, and be okay with, that we're not perfect per se, but we have the ability to kind of go in and keep working on ourselves, and keep evolving, keep changing and going through these experiences to hopefully make us better people again. And so I don't know if there's a lockdown hard knowledge that's come out of that experience or any other of my big psychedelic experiences, except for being humbled, just being like, wow, I don't know shit. And all I can do is experience and do my best to try to navigate that space in a responsible and hopefully clean way.